God forbid you just stop the car until the track is definitely clear. I mean,
when have you seen a hurricane in Texas? Well, it happened that day.
What's all-star about having every driver? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Good guy, ass. Good guy, can't drive a race car. Sorry.
You're listening to the Foreign Fuel Podcast.
hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Foreign Field Podcast. I'm your host, Dom Capilupo, joined by Steve Ray and Sam Dooley. We're here for a little Watkins Glen recap, a little All-Star race at Dover preview, and then here just for some general chit-chat, some fun, some trivia, maybe a little fantasy pick, maybe a little game, little all that. Have some fun with this one because, Steve, Watkins Glen went down just exactly like we thought it would. SVG is who we thought he was, and nothing else is surprising.
Watkins Glen was certainly a race of all time. I'll say that. It was on the schedule, it existed, it happened. Who I feel the worst for is everybody that had to go camping there, that signed up to go camping there, and then got all their stuff stuck in the mud. Because every time I opened up Twitter through the weekend, it was just camping updates that you can't be here at this time. You have to be here at this time. You have to be out by 8:30 because that's when we're going to stop pulling people out of the mud. It was, from a scheduling perspective, and this is probably why they, before the weekend even started, decided that next year they're going to push it back to September, because whoever's decision it was to put it in May, I'm glad that that was one and done, because wow, that had to have been rough for people. The only guy who it wasn't rough for was SVG, because he is still really, really good at this road course racing stuff. I mean, just the absolute clinic. I think of all the road course races that we've seen him win in his career so far, which I think is up to 7, if I heard correctly. I think this had to be one of the most impressive. Just when it came down to the strategy at the end, the time gap that he had to make up, 29 seconds or something like that, to be able to do that and then still win by a good margin, was just second to none. I mean, nobody else was even in the same zip code as SVG. So it was another incredible performance, exactly what they needed to kind of keep themselves alive in this chase hunt as we move forward throughout the rest of the regular season. And, Watkins Glen just, needs a good, the track might not need a revamp. It's just that these cars don't put on a great race there. So, it happened, and that's really about the only thing I can say about Watkins Glen.
It's the worst car and track combo on the circuit right now, and I don't even think it's really close. There's no excitement, there's no passing, there's no anything that's really changed there. And we added tire barriers, we added tire, packs off of turn one, off the carousel, and I mean it helped a little bit, but I mean it kind of caused chaos in the O'Reilly and truck races there, where people were trying to avoid wrecks and kind of destroyed their cars in the tire packs. And Sam, if we're gonna talk about inverts later, but if we inverted the entire field at Watkins Glen, Joey Logano would have won.
I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing that up. That was, God. I texted in the chat, like I don't even know if Joey's gonna be in top 20 in points at the chase cutoff. Like it's been bad. We had the conversation last week, and here we are again. Said he needed to put together a good run, and he went out there and put together another stinker. So, yeah, that was just altogether bad. I think it would have been fun if we inverted the field and put SVG at the back, but we kind of saw what happened when you did that at the end of the race. We put him at the back, and he still made up 30 seconds there. That was really the redeeming factor for me of this not being the worst race, or one of the worst races I've seen. because it just like that, the factor of him being in the back and coming from the back, like the way that he did, um, like that got me. I was our baseball game had just ended whenever he came out of the pits, and so like before I cleaned up all my cameras and everything, I literally stopped and watched him make that comeback. That was the only part of the race that I like stopped and watched, because it was just so insane. And like Larry Mack coming over at the broadcast and saying, "Oh yeah, it looks like he's pacing to get there with 2 to go," and then here we come, 9 laps left, and he just blows right by the leaders, and then he sets sail and he's gone by. I think he ended up winning by like 10 seconds or something. So it's yeah, the way that the strategy worked out to where we got to see him cut through the field, that was fun, but that was pretty much the only fun part. And I it going back to the topic of them changing to a chase race for Watkins Glen. One, that's going to be an awful race for next year, right in the middle of the chase. And then two, doesn't it? Isn't it getting cold near the chase up in New York? I know y'all have like a couple of months window where it's actually warm, and then it starts getting cold again. So like I don't really know how the fall may not be the nicest place to put it, depending on how deep it lands into the chase next year.
Weather-wise, I don't see it being too much of an issue. I just think the timing-wise of it is you had it in August for all these years because families were still, their kids were still on summer vacation and all that, so it made it easier to bring the family out for a weekend to camp and all that stuff. And now you got, kids will be back at school, and it's gonna be tough to be getting full families to go and camp for the weekend. And I'll tell you, like being there last year, going there and showing up, it's fine and they do a good job, but it's definitely one. If I ever did go back to Watkins Glen, I'd be going to camp there for the weekend, absolutely. Uh, yeah, it could be chilly. I mean, it's not gonna be like frigid. It seems like summer starts later now and ends later, so it's kind of it'll probably still be like in the set. I'd say it'd probably be 60s at the lowest, if anything. So I think weather-wise, they'll be fine. It's just like you said, it's gonna be my prediction is it could be the worst chase race ever. I mean, that's in terms of
Ooh,
excitement.
and that's coming from all those years with the Roval in the chase too.
I mean, at least the Roval had some excitement aspect to it, where it's just like you have at least the threat of turn one being mass chaos and stuff. I mean, here there's just nothing.
Yeah, that's
And
true. I
apparently,
mean,
we're never going to get a green white checkered because we got cars breaking Armco barriers, and that's
yeah.
not a caution. But we've got a little piece of debris on pit road in Martinsville, but that's a caution.
Hey, we screamed this at the top of our lungs last year that NASCAR consistently inconsistent with where they throw their cautions. Proved their point again this weekend or
Yeah, it
last
was.
weekend,
I,
whenever it was.
in the moment, I was really cheering for it not to be a caution because I wanted that to develop naturally with SVG catching up and everything. But then, upon further review, seeing the picture of the freaking railing bent because of how hard Cody Ware hit it. Also, I had a banger message in one of our group chats. Uh, if I had a nickel for every time that Cody Ware hit a wall really hard at a road course and either didn't get a caution or they were late to throw the caution, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Like, it's odd that it happened to the same guy, and they were just like, he'll be all right. Car's destroyed. There's probably pieces of the car all over the track. Who cares? Yeah, let's keep it green.
It's 2026, and their excuses, we didn't have eyes on it. What do you mean you didn't have eyes on it? How many cameras do you ever? How many cameras does it take to cover that whole track? There's 7 turns. You're telling me you can't cover 7 turns with cameras?
Yeah, and doesn't Fox always love to like fly their drone camera around too? We just, can't have a drone flying around.
I mean, it's zero reason for that. And to quote the great Jimmy Spencer, beer cans, caution, wrecked race cars, shreds of metal, clean and green. Because that seems to be the logic here. That race was, caution there wouldn't have benefited Chase Elliott, so they decided to keep it green. And one thing I want to give a shout out to Michael McDowell because he essentially did the same thing SVG did. And if SVG just didn't race, Michael McDowell would have been praised for the drive through the field after pitting there. And he actually did get up to second. So if SVG didn't wasn't a thing, he would have been the guy getting the win by driving through the field, which is really impressive. And he really needed a shot in the arm because they have been on the down train enough to where people were talking about McDowell just being out of the ride next year, which we've learned is not the case. Spire looks to be standing pat, and I feel like Watkins Glen is enough. I mean, we could talk about some of that silly season stuff that came out earlier from Jordan Bianchi. So, Spire standing pat. Looks like Kyle Busch is going to be returning the RCR.
Man, Kyle, blink twice if you need help, my man. Like, don't put yourself through this.
Hey, RCR, both cars in the
Hey,
top
double
10 at the
double
Glen.
top 10. I will say, hey, Kyle, this is 2 weeks in a row now that he's had a new crew chief and has had two good runs. So now this feels like Brady Belichick conversations all over again. When Brady went to Tampa Bay, was it Jim Pullman? Was it Kyle Busch? Was it both? Like, that was good. It was good to see, and it wasn't on a fluke thing or anything. Austin and Kyle both ran really solidly all day long. So it's nice to see. Hopefully they can keep this up and start keeping those momentum going throughout the rest of the season because they both need it terribly, terribly bad.
Yeah, so you're looking at, I believe, RFK, they need to find a third charter because they're looking to keep the lineup the same, but they need a charter because their lease with Rick Ware is up after this season. So they either need to buy a charter, lease another charter, or run the third car as an open team. And Brad said they're ready to be an open team. I mean, how much is that him just saying that and reality? Because it's definitely a lose. You're losing money on it, no doubt. No matter how good the car is. So we'll see how that goes. And then the big headline is the 48 car. Apparently, Hendrick and Zilisch both have mutual interest, and sources are saying that Connor Zilich's contract with Trackhouse is up at the end of 27 potentially. So Hendrick could either go get Zilisch this offseason and basically do a buyout and pay Trackhouse to take him, or there's Corey Day that could take over that 48 car, or they kick the can one more year and bring Bowman back for another year. Which, if they're that set on Zilisch, it would make no sense to bring up Corey Day because then you create a whole new can of worms in 28. Because if you're bringing up Corey Day, it's not going to be a 1 year and done. And it seems like they really want Zilisch. So if they get Zilisch and Corey Day, that means there's one of these big three and Hendrick is gone. And I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be Kyle Larson unless Kyle Larson leaves the sport. And it's probably not going to be Chase Elliott. So honestly, William Byron,
Man, do we want to start the rumor that William Byron's out at Hendrick?
hey, I
Well, you
mean,
look at it like logically, like Dom just said. You've got Larson. They're not getting rid of Larson because he's just too damn good, and he's got a huge fan base. Not getting rid of Chase Elliott because he's got a huge fan base. He could pull a Dale Jr. and not win for 4 or 5 years or whatever, and he'd still have a huge fan base, right? And you're still making money just having him on payroll. So it's not going to be either of those two. Byron is he's just kind of the odd man out. Like he's not. It's not that he's not popular. He's just not as popular, and he's not quite as good as the other two.
yeah. So, I mean, I can't, and it just seems it would just be weird for them for Jordan Bianchi to come out and say Hendrick wants Zilisch, and just to throw that out. He's not just going to throw that out there just to say it and to create controversy.
Yeah, and it's not like if Hendrick wanted to have Zilisch, honestly, if Hendrick wanted to have Zilisch right now, they would do it. It's just a blank check at that point. That team is worth so much money. So money is of no object to them. So realistically, if they wanted to have Zilisch this offseason, yeah, I'm sure they could make a deal happen. I'm sure that they wanted that to happen, but just Trackhouse beat them to the punch first. But we've seen it before. Zane had a deal with with Trackhouse that fell through. So things like this happen, and what seems like is set in stone isn't always the case. So, but then that opens up a can of worms. You move Zilisch over to the 48. Then what's your plan with Corey Day? Because that's kind of Kyle Larson's protege. So what do you do with him? Where do you put him? What's his long-term plan? Is he going to come back and run another year of O'Reilly? I think that's probably the better move for him rather than kind of a one and done year there and then coming to the Cup Series.
What a kick in the nuts that would be to Trackhouse. I mean, you literally got rid of every prospect you had just to make sure you had room for Zilisch. And this quickly, he jumped ship to go to Hendrick. I mean, you got rid of Zane Smith for SVG. And then you got rid of Daniel Suarez, which, I mean, they weren't doing the best. But now Trackhouse would then have to try to find their own replacement and just have to go out and either go back down to 2 cars or just find a third guy, whether that maybe be a Jesse Love. Because Jesse Love is now another one who's also getting apparently just kind of screwed here in all of this. Because if Kyle Busch comes back to RCR, unless RCR is opening up a third team and getting a third charter, which doesn't seem likely, he's not getting a ride next year, and he's going to he might just be forced to stay in the O'Reilly series again because let's look at other teams. 2311. Corey Haim's going to take that car. Legacy. It's going to be Riley Herbst going to that third Legacy car. There's no other rides unless the Wood brothers go and get Jesse Love. Which, I mean, is that an improvement over Josh Berry? Because, like we say, when the 21 car is doing good, it's a Penske car. When the 21 car is doing bad, it's a Wood Brothers car. So, how much is it Josh Berry or how much is it the Wood Brothers?
Let me just check the stat line here. 32nd at Watkins Glen, so that was a Wood Brothers car.
Gotcha.
To be fair though, he got crashed. He got host scored.
No, I think he wrecked himself based off of the. That's another thing. We get better coverage after the race on Twitter. Fox can't show how Bubba Wallace spun. They can't show how Josh Berry spun. I mean, are you kidding me? We all have access to the HBO Max cameras. You're telling me Fox can't just dig that up real quick and throw it on the broadcast? Like, what are these guys even doing? Like, how many employees are there? Are there only 5 employees and 4 of them are the guys in the booth?
Yeah, it was one thing to keep track of SVG when he was trying to close the lead down. But man, once he took the lead, it's like you knew what was going to happen at that point. If there wasn't going to be a caution, you knew what was going to happen, that he was going to start to pull away. So yeah, that would have been your time and to go through other things in the field or talk about other things, but they just didn't. And I'm so happy that we have one more week to deal with Fox, and then we go to the beautiful, beautiful Amazon Prime coverage.
That's the interesting thing to me is that because SVG was out there and he was gapping everyone, right? So he had opened up that big old lead even a couple of laps after he had passed the leaders with 9 to go. And it's like, now that he's got that gap, you've legitimately got time with each one of your cameras to show him coming through this section. And then you have, 10 seconds before the group of other people are coming through. You've got time to get back there and, shoot everything that's going on. So there's literally no reason that we shouldn't have coverage of these things that are happening in these packs because, like what are we shooting? Like, because the leader comes through, and then you got 10 seconds of sitting there, and then everyone else comes through. So if you're still trying to find a leader way off, I don't know what to tell you. It's just I also am very glad that it is Fox's last week this week, so that we get, like Steve said, the beautiful coverage of Amazon Prime.
Yeah, so we'll speaking of Fox's last race, that's Dover, the All-Star race. Unfortunately, the All-Star race. Let's touch on this format. I'm just gonna try to go through it and try to make it as simple for all you listening or watching, because I know it's took me a few times to figure it out. So essentially, with qualifying, we're gonna have a clean full lap at speed. Then they got to come down pit road for a 4 tire pit stop, and the total time between the pit stop and all that lap, the 2 laps, it's going to be where you start the race essentially in segment 1. Now that pit crew challenge will determine pit selection order. So the pit stops themselves, based off of who gets the fastest, gets to pick their pit stalls. Why can't we just have the the pit stop challenge? Why can't we? Remember, that was like peak NASCAR.
I used to love watching that.
Dude, that was like a must watch event.
Because they'd have it on like the night before, right? And they would have
Yep.
it as its own separate broadcast. I would
Yep.
turn that on. I cared more about that, like especially as a kid. I loved watching that. I cared more about that than watching the actual race, because it's like closer coverage than you ever get of pit stops. Like you're zoomed in, you're right there. It feels like you're on pit road watching them do it. They drive in and then they push the car off, and that was always so cool to me. I don't know why we can't. I don't know why we can't have both, right? Like, I don't know why we can't have qualifying this way with the pit stop, because that's a cool thing that's been with the All-Star race for forever. But also have, that night have the pit crew challenge, and then, the next day you have the race. But, we're asking too much from NASCAR, who has decided that a 1 o'clock Sunday start at Dover, of all places, is a great idea for the All-Star race.
Yeah, so going into the race, so after you do all that qualifying on Saturday, you come into the race at 1:05 p.m. green flag. You've got 75 laps. First through 26th are then inverted, and then 27 through 36 just stay how they were. And then they run another 75 laps. This is with the full field. And then after that, you combine your 2 stage finishes, and then you get a average finish. And based off of the lowest average finish, that's where they set the field for a 200 lap segment for the All-Star race. And there's only 19 guys locked into that 200 lap segment right now. You'll get 1 via the fan vote, and then 6 others who have the best average finish who aren't locked in. So in theory, we could have the top 7 in average finish be guys who aren't locked in, and the guy in 7th doesn't even make the race. And it's just so convoluted. Why couldn't we just have a 75 lap just showdown like we always have? Well, why do we have to put the full field in here? You're gonna have John Hunter Nemechek, who needs 1 spot to make it into the All-Star race. He's gonna go in there and wreck Denny Hamlin just so he can get that spot to get to the All-Star race, and then Denny Hamlin's not even there for the final 200 laps.
So if someone gets wrecked, is their spot forfeited if they're locked in, or is that just a wasted spot? We'll just start the last segment with 25 people.
This is gonna be,
It's
what's
gonna be
gonna
so
happen?
bad. It's so bad.
We're gonna get the big one early, and it's just gonna wipe out like every locked in car.
There's going to be like 6 cars, and they're all going to be like 30th plus cars that run every week. And it's going to be like Cody Ware takes home the $1 million or something. Oh, that would be peak, because they're putting down the PJ1. That's what we were talking about before.
That's another stupid thing they're doing. Dover, literally the widest racetrack in terms of racing, where they could race everywhere from the wall to the bottom, hugging the hugging the apron, and we're gonna throw PJ1 to cover all lanes in the turns. I mean, I think this is it for Dover. This is gonna ruin the racetrack, and this is basically the final nail in the coffin on Dover. This might be it. Like they might just never go back to Dover after this.
Yeah, especially with the PJ1 and it lasts for a number of years. This track just did not need PJ1. It was great as it is. It's a long run track. There's nothing wrong with it. Stop ruining these racetracks by putting PJ1 on it. They damn near killed Bristol. That's finally starting to come back now, but they almost killed it. Um, it just creates this shitty racing products. It's just not needed because now it's going to be so gripped up. Plus, I also think that is this the weekend of the waxing crescent moon?
No, I mean, is it?
So I think it's already going to be gripped up. Now he throws PJ1, it's going to be extra gripped up.
Are they
So
trying to create a plate race here?
yes, exactly. It's going to be full throttle at Dover of all places.
Good Lord. Yeah, we're getting a big wreck in the first segment. It's going to happen. And that's just going to be a dumpster fire trying to figure out who's in, who's out, what do we do. And yeah, just pure chaos. And that's all I could say about this All-Star race. And I'll be there on Sunday to support Dover itself because this isn't Dover's fault, not the track's fault. And I mean, I really hope it's not the last time they run at Dover. I hope just next year they give it its points race back, and that's it. And it was bad enough losing a Dover date, but I understood it. And it didn't sell out last year because you put it in the smack middle of July where it's a humid, muggy mess. So who is going to want to go to Dover when it's 95 degrees and humid? It's completely understandable. So just give it its May or June date back and just let it have its 400-mile race because it didn't hurt nobody. The racing is solid on the long runs. And I mean, I'll be really pissed off if Dover is not on the schedule next year. That's how I feel about it. And
Yeah,
I hope,
I think if Dover's not, I think the Northeast fans have every right to riot because they've already taken a Pocono date away from you. They're moving Watkins Glen in and out. New Hampshire's been moved around. They take a date away from Dover. They've already taken a date away from New Hampshire. It's just less and less and less and less, and finally to the point where there's just going to be no racing in the Northeast anymore. If they keep this up, there's going to be nothing left.
yeah. So we'll see what happens with it. Enough being upset because we'll talk about that next week, I'm sure. But let's before we do this game, let's get some trivia in here, Steve. I know you got a question for us, I think submitted by our buddy Dylan.
By our buddy Dylan, I do. I have. It's one question, so this will be pretty quick here. And unfortunately, it is the answer is before 2000. So Sam doesn't really stand a chance in this.
Yeah, I appreciate that one. Don't. Uh,
All
yeah, we
right.
did. No one
Oh, we didn't get our
donated for
buttons,
buzzers.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to be ready.
All right. So his question is this is not All-Star race trivia. This is Dover trivia. So think about all the races with Dover, okay? What is the farthest back a driver has started and won? Part two to that question is who is that driver?
Well, you gave us you basically told us it's before 2000.
Yes. I'll give you that. It's before 2000.
Okay. Do we get multiple attempts at this, or is it just one and you're out if you don't get it?
We'll do a few guesses. We'll make this go a minute or two here.
Okay. I'm gonna go 26th. Rusty Wallace.
No and no.
I feel like maybe like 34th
No.
with, yeah, I mean, are we in the ballpark or
Yes, you are in the ballpark.
is it in between or outside our guesses?
Uh, outside.
So we're going deeper than 34th. Did someone start
35th.
shotgun?
Did someone what?
Start shotgun on the
No,
field?
no,
Okay. So we got a 35th.
35th, and uh, 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 Bobby Labonte.
no, and also no.
38th Kyle Petty.
No, and yes.
So it was Kyle Petty.
So it was Kyle
Yes.
Petty. Now we're 36th.
No. Oh my
30
God, you guys are on fire right here.
I think
37th.
Yeah, there it is.
37th Kyle Petty.
Got
37th
it.
Kyle Petty. Yep.
That-
Was it like 1992?
Like 1990, I don't know the exact year. I wish Wes was here. He'd be able to tell us.
That felt like some
Uh,
good teamwork.
Yeah, the note I had from Dylan here, he was the second to last guy to make it on speed. To make it that much more impressive from starting that far back, he led 271 of 500 laps.
Dylan, you gave,
So
you gave me
that
no
so then
chance.
I said second to last guy to make it on speed sums up Kyle Petty's career.
Yeah. You gave me no chance, Dylan. Damn it. Too old.
Well, that was some trivia. Now I got a little game for you guys here. You guys are gonna have to do this as a team. It's keep three, cut five, 2026 NASCAR drivers. So this is based off of them in 2026.
Team name, first of all, team name Fat Boys. We going with that, Steve? Big fellas?
Uh, is it FAT or PHAT? There's a difference in fat or fat.
PHAT.
Okay, PHAT.
Yeah.
All right,
The
fat
Boys.
fellas. All right,
That's
fat
us.
fat boys or fat fellas.
Fat fellas, I like that.
Fat
The
fellas,
alliteration.
alright.
I like it. I
All
like
right, let's
it.
do it.
There we go.
Okay,
Now
well-
that we've got the important part out of the way, Dom, you can
Yep.
go on with the segment.
So you're basically looking at, I guess, fielding a team, but you're going based off of 2026 performance only.
Okay.
Not these drivers' primes, their lows, just they're up to this point this year.
Okay.
Your first driver, keeping or cutting, is Ryan Preece.
I'm feeling cut. Let's keep three,
so-
cut five, right?
So
Yep.
we're blind doing this.
Yes,
We've
you
gotta
don't know
go-
who's coming up.
I
I got the list in front of me, but you don't know who's coming
If
up.
we've only got 3 that we can do, I'm gonna go cut as well.
Yeah, I'm
We
gonna
agree
go.
on that one.
I'm gonna go cut. Priest has done very, very well.
He's been consistent.
Compared, he's been consistent, but not top 10 consistent. I feel like that we're gonna see 3 better drivers than Priest.
Yeah.
Ryan Preece, where's he sitting in points? He's in the playoffs. He's in the chase right now. He's sitting
Yeah.
13th in the points. So
Pending his 25-point penalty.
yeah, if he gets
So-
the 25 points back, he actually jumps up to 9th.
Okay.
So, all right. Bubba Wallace is your second driver.
Tell you what, I'd be willing to keep Bubba Wallace.
I'm willing to keep him because of 2311 performance, and he's kind of had some bad luck stuff happen to him, which is why he's like I think 11th was where I saw he's at in points. Oh, he's up to 10th. So he may be one behind where Priest would be if he got the 25 away, but the 2311 performance for me just kind of trumps that. Like it feels like they've had top end raw speed while RFK has had consistent speed, especially amongst the team. But it just there hasn't been a race where I'm like they've gone out and they've dominated in the fastest car, and I've watched the 45 do that multiple times. So I'm thinking 2311 team speed is kind of what puts him over Priest for me.
Yeah, me too. I think even though even though Bubba's sitting there 10th in points, there was a point where he was sitting top 3 in points the first couple weeks. You look at that gap of where he's at 10th in points too, it's not that far to get towards the top 6 in points either. So I think there has been pretty much, Martinsville was kind of that one boneheaded mistake that he made this year. Really, a lot of it has just been things that have been out of his control. I think 2026 start of the year to where we are now, almost a third of the way through the season, I think is a very strong case for this is probably the best start to Bubba's career that we've seen. And it's only going to go up from here. I think the speed that Reddick brings and the speed that 2311 brings, I think that he's worthy of a keep driver.
All right. Chase Elliott.
Man,
I'm gonna defer to you here, Steve, because I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other on if we should keep him or not.
yeah, here's the thing is that he is right now the best Hendrick driver.
And that
But
means something. That means something because
that
Hendrick's good,
Hendrick's
but they haven't
good,
been good
but
this year. That's the
look at
thing.
how they were at Watkins Glen. They were terrible. They might as well have not even shown up at Watkins Glen. It's still been hit or miss because you don't know if the Chevy teams are going to bring speed or not. Are they still trying to figure this car out with the new nose on the body? Oh man, I could make a case both ways, and I'm really trying to be unbiased about this because, of course, if I was just going off of biased opinion, of course, hands down, it'd be keep. But just off of performance, but then again, he's sitting what third in
Third in
points,
points.
He's third in points.
third in
He
points with 2 wins
he's
too.
got 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s out of 12 races. I mean, I'm fine with keeping
I
him.
I think keep.
You're going to be hard pressed to find someone that you'd rather keep than Chase Elliott.
I'll put it this way: if it's Chase Elliott, I'm keeping it. If it's any other of the Hendrick drivers, I'm cutting them.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, Joey Logano.
Cut. No question. This is
I,
not even a dig on Joey. It's just
it's been
you
bad.
can't even. It's been
We had
horrible.
the
Cut.
conversation already. We had the conversation last week. We continued it into this week. Some serious turnaround is going to be needed for him to even make the chase. So yeah, we're cutting him.
All right. William Byron.
Cut. Also,
Yeah.
just hasn't haven't. There's been races where I haven't even remembered that William Byron's been in there. He's not. 2026 version of Byron is not like what we saw of 2025 version of Byron. Something just isn't clicking with that team. Normally we'd see it the last couple of years that they would get off to like this hot start and then cool off in the summer, and they just really haven't been getting it going. No, I'm gonna cut Byron.
Yeah, you compare his stats to Chase Elliott, who we said we'd keep. Byron has no wins, 2 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and 2 DNFs. That was one thing I didn't mention with Chase Elliott. He doesn't have a single DNF. So, yeah, Byron, we're cutting him.
All right. We got 3 cut, 2 keep. Ty Gibbs.
Ooh,
Oh man,
man, we've only got one spot left. Oh, that's tough. Cause like if Blaney, I'd say if Blaney, Reddick, Hamlin shows up, I'd rather have those 3 over him.
yeah.
But I I I don't know other than that who I would want.
Yeah, and then you look at that stretch that Gibbs went through too. He went through like 6 races where he finished inside the top 6 or something like that. And so outside of the super speedways were kind of his Achilles heel, which that's just a toss up anyways. But I agree. Like, do you think that Reddick or Hamlin or Blaney? Because I would agree, I'd have one of those guys before Ty Gibbs, but I really wouldn't take anybody else before Ty Gibbs at that point.
How many do we have left?
You got 2 more after this.
2 more. I don't want to take up that 3rd spot. I'm gonna cut him. A reluctant cut
Yeah,
but a cut
and
nonetheless.
almost made the you almost made the keep list,
Like
but you
it's
got
like
on the cut
the
list.
first four out in the tournament for
Yeah,
NCAA. He's the first one on the first four out. Like
yeah.
I'm saving this spot. I'm really hoping the last two aren't like John Hunter Nemechek and Cody Ware, because then we're gonna look really stupid.
All right, so far you've cut Ryan Preece, you've cut Joey Logano, cut William Byron, and cut Ty Gibbs. You've kept Bubba Wallace, and you've kept Chase Elliott. Your next driver, Denny Hamlin.
Okay, I I'm taking. Oh my god, if Reddick's the last one, we're fucked. Oh,
Yeah.
oh man.
Because it is going to be something of either it's going to be Reddick or it's going to be someone like Cody Ware.
It's literally Reddick or Cody Ware is what I have in my head, and I think the safe thing to do is to take Hamlin while we have
Yeah.
him.
I mean, take the guy with 61 career wins.
Yes,
You know, I know that we're not going off of career stats, we're just going off this year, but he's still been
you can trust the
still
track record. You can
yeah.
use the past. You're not using the past in this exact exercise, but you can have it in your thought process. Oh, that guy's probably going to continue to have a good year. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm keeping Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, I'll keep Denny Hamlin too.
All right, so you've kept Bubba
He's
Wallace,
smiling. He's
Ty
smiling. It's
Yeah.
Gibbs,
Reddick. The last
and
one's
Denny
Reddick. I don't like him.
Hamlin. You've cut Ryan Preece, Joey Logano, William Byron, Ty Gibbs, and Riley Herbst.
Oh, good.
Okay.
The last
Safe.
one was Herbst.
Safe.
Yes, I'm so good with this. Yeah. I
Hey,
feel
Ri-
so good about this team.
Riley hasn't been as bad as he was last year.
No. Yeah, has made major improvement. It
That's-
wouldn't be enough. Like if he had shown up on the middle part of the list, I would still say cut.
Yeah.
But
It's not as much of a dog on Riley Herbst here. I'll give you that one. It's
Yeah.
we've had we've had our fun with Riley Herbst, but it seems like he's at least made improvements. We know he's probably not going to lose a ride. He'll find a ride somewhere because he's got the sponsorship money, but feels like he's taken some strides from Riley Herbst. So obviously, great choice by us. I feel like that's a solid team that we put together to win a bunch of races this year.
Yeah, I mean, the only one you maybe argue you swap out is maybe Ty Gibbs over Bubba, maybe. But I mean, even then, you're probably. I mean, it's not a bad decision.
Yeah,
I think everything else is.
There's nothing egregious like if we would have left Denny Hamlin off and put Riley Herbst in. That would have
Yeah,
been
you can't even kick yourself if you have Hamlin there and then Reddick shows up. Like you
yeah,
can't even
because
kick
it's
yourself.
like that's the number two guy. Like yeah, I feel like we had some good thought processes there though. Go fat fellas.
yeah,
Good
go
team.
fat fellas.
Very nice, very nice. Maybe we'll do some of that more as we move along this season. Just need to do something a little fun with this weekend. And I mean, other than that, I don't know if you guys got anything. Oh, we'll pick our winners for the All-Star race. No fantasy this week. We'll be back at that for the 600 next week on our preview pod for that one. So, yeah, who we got winning the All-Star race?
I just feel like that this is shaping up to be a Denny Hamlin kind of race. So I'll take one of our guys from the Fat Fellas team. I'll take Denny Hamlin.
Um, I'll go. I'll go someone that needs a win, and even if it's non-points paying, it'll help him out. I'm gonna go Alex Bowman to win it. Is he gonna have to race his way in? He hasn't won,
Yes.
so he'll
Yeah.
have to race his way in. I think he can do it. I call me crazy, but he had those back-to-back top fives prior to Watkins Glen, so he needs a win, and there's nothing better than getting $1 million at the end of the rainbow. So I think he might be able to pull this one out.
I will go with the guy on my hat, Chase Briscoe. He needs something to go his way too, and maybe a little shot in the arm getting the win there. The 19 team is notoriously really good at Dover. So Briscoe was on the front row on the last restart last year and got second. And I think he'll have a shot here. The pit crew is pretty solid. I mean, that's another thing. Got to look at the pit crews. Got to come through in qualifying because if you're mired in the field, you might struggle in that first stage, and you don't want to be starting outside the top 26 because who knows if you could get back into the top 26 because you're not going to have a shot if you finish the first stage outside the top 26 and have to just be 27th and then restart 27th. You'll never get up there at Dover, unfortunately. So, I mean, we'll see what happens this weekend. Also, if you made it this far, gonna do a little Q&A pod at Dover. We're down there. We're gonna have Anthony, and we're gonna get our buddy Dylan on the mic. We're gonna answer some questions. So if anyone's got any questions, leave them down below. DM us at Four and Fuel Podcast or myself at DomCaps11 because we'll be tailgating a little bit, and we're gonna get behind the mics and answer some questions and kind of shoot the shit while we wait for the fantastic All-Star race. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna give Anthony my Bluetooth mics for the phone and let him have free reign. He said he wants to interview people, so we'll see how that.
Oh no!
We're gonna see how that goes on TikTok.
Surely he's not going to be drinking any Surfsides, right?
Well, that's the thing, is that he won't be able to find as many drunks because it's going to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the race starts. You're going to have to get there at 6 o'clock in the morning if you really want to get drunk before the race. I don't know how many people are that committed. So, you know, maybe we'll get some sober opinions from some fans. Probably not, but maybe. It's possible.
Yeah, 85 degrees this Sunday. It's saying sunny, maybe with some clouds. No rain, which is good. And hopefully it's a good time. Catch that episode again. I'll put a post out on our socials for questions as well. And yeah, we'll be back to maybe we'll talk about it. I don't plan on talking about Dover. We're just going to jump into the Coke 600 preview pod because that I think is the most anticipated race so far of the year. So we're going to have a lot of fun breaking that one down. And hopefully we'll get Wes back with us next week, next week, which will be good. Get all 4 of us back for that preview pod. So Dover's weekend. See you there. If you're there, say hi. Come say hi. I promise I don't bite.
Yes, you do.
I don't know about that.
Only playfully.
Maybe if they take my if you take my Bapple from me, then we might have some issues. But everyone, enjoy your bush apple if you have it, because you're going to need it to enjoy that Dover All-Star race. So for Sam, Steve, I'm Dom. We'll talk to you next week. Talking Coke 600.